Extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO, is a process by which a patient is cannulated and blood is passed to an oxygenator, taking the place of the lungs, and pumped back around the body by pumps that take the role of the heart. ECMO is an advanced treatment option in acute COVID-19 infection, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and many other critical care situations. ECMO can help patients heal by giving their heart and lungs valuable time to rest. ECMO may be an option after the care team have exhausted all other treatments. Newcastle Hospitals Trust is one of only 7 paediatric ECMO centres in England, based at the Freeman Hospital. There, very sick children can be placed on ECMO, allowing the circuit to do the work of the heart and the lungs. Newcastle's major children's hospital is the Great North Children's Hospital, based at the Royal Victoria Infirmary. Should an ECMO patient at the Freeman PICU require special gastrointestinal or neurological services, they need to be transferred across the city whilst on the ECMO circuit. Additionally, patients from other hospitals around the northeast or further afield may be placed on ECMO at their local hospital and then transferred to the specialist unit at the Freeman for ongoing care. In order to facilitate this, specialist ECMO-trained nurses from the Freeman and specialist transport nurses from the North Eastern Cumbria Transport and Retrieval Service, NECTA, must work together to provide a safe and efficient transfer transported via a NECTA ambulance. As part of their training, I work with clinicians from these two disciplines to develop a high-fidelity, immersive simulation for their learners. This teaching session has been successfully delivered on 5 occasions, and feedback from each session has been used to develop the simulation further, advancing the learning. The central component of the simulation is Chalice Medical's parallel simulator. This system is inserted into the ECMO circuit, allowing an instructor to manipulate the flow, pressures, and pump speeds. Alongside the pump control, the parallel simulator has a patient monitor, permitting the display of simulated patient observations, which can be altered as the scenario progresses. This allows a range of potential real-life scenarios involving both clinical issues and mechanical issues with the patient and circuit to be simulated. As well as the variables of the ECMO circuit, a key component of the simulation is the ambulance and the human factor influences of managing the patient while in this space. The ECMO specialist nurses are familiar with the circuit, but not this space. Similarly, the NECTA practitioners are familiar with the ambulance, but not the management of the patient and the circuit. I drew upon a range of different technological approaches to enable us to capture video and audio from the ambulance and transmit it back to the centre, with the latest iteration using Newtek's TriCaster system. This system allowed us to transmit high-quality video and audio, along with the patient observations and pump data from the ECMO circuit, back to the classroom where the other course attendees were observing. This system ensured that while only 4 candidates could be in the ambulance for each scenario, the full group was able to participate in the clinical debrief afterwards, enabling professional critique, feedback, and shared learning for all. Simulation scenarios and the debrief learning session that follows are increasingly key components of clinical education. This experiential learning method is used across a broad range of disciplines for task-specific or procedural training, incident analysis and prevention, and human factors awareness. In this particular case, the simulation scenario and debrief provide an opportunity for the team to consolidate the learning that has taken place throughout the day. The ECMO training day can be mapped against Bloom's taxonomy, as outlined here. Simulation can be seen to typify a constructivist approach to learning. Constructivism posits that the construction of knowledge is an active process in which learners make sense of new ideas in light of their previous knowledge and experience. This constructivist approach is suitable for learners who are best suited to learning through heuristic problem solving in novel situations. Constructivism, as described by Vygotsky, introduces the concept of a zone of proximal development, where a learner is introduced to novel ideas or skills, slightly beyond their current ability or understanding, which they can understand or complete with support. Simulation supports this theory by providing an environment for learners to grapple with these new concepts, but with a greatly reduced risk to themselves or others. In this case, learners would not be expected to conduct the transfer of a real ECMO patient, but the simulation allows them to experience the complexity of the transfer, using the real equipment and real environment, guided by experienced faculty without risk to the patient. Social constructivism, another facet of constructivist pedagogy, emphasizes the learner's individual backgrounds as an integral component of the learning process. In this case, the learners arrive with their own experiences of caring for critically ill patients, either in PICU or during nectar transfer. As they share experiences throughout the day, they are able to construct knowledge with the support of the prior experience of others. Constructivists term this scaffolding. Each simulation scenario involves 2 learners from PICU with 2 from nectar, with the remainder of the group observing. The learners provide each other with additional scaffolding beyond what is provided by the faculty and teaching environment. The participants draw on each other's expertise as well as the knowledge gained throughout the day to solve problems. Constructivist pedagogy also theorizes the importance of situated learning, providing context to aid understanding. As mentioned already, the teaching day places the learners in a community of practice, i.e. critical care nursing, with which they already have a great deal of familiarity. The simulation session takes this a step further, by placing the teaching in the physical situation of the ambulance transfer. They come to understand the clinical indications of a pump failure, the practical mechanics of a pump head change, and the communication issues present in a moving vehicle and the environmental impact of the ambulance. Research has shown that in situ simulation, where a simulated scenario takes place in the real environment rather than a sim lab, leads to improved clinical skills, communication and teamwork. Using the technology of the parallel simulator, combined with the video streaming technology of the TriCaster, this teaching attempts to recreate as close as possible any situation that could occur during a real patient transfer. Constructivist theorists also discuss the importance of learner engagement on their recollection of learning. The fact that the ambulance simulation is novel and exciting will aid learners' retention of the day's teaching, even if an argument could be made for using the time to do repeated procedural skills-based training with the circuit, as outlined earlier. Finally, the streaming technology allows the participants to each contribute to the scenario debrief. Structured debrief is a key component of simulation-based education and helps learners reflect on their experience in the scenario. In line with constructivist thinking, the debrief should be student-led, and in this case, the group were able to draw on their own experiences to help explore and discuss what happened in the scenario. Enabling the observers to watch real-time as the scenario takes place, guided in their observation by a member of faculty, ensured all participants took an active role in the debrief and felt valued in their contribution to group learning. Supporting and delivering ECMO transfer simulation provides a memorable conclusion to a full day of complex teaching, with technological solutions enabling all attendees to play an active role in the participation, observation and discussion, embodying key components of a constructivist approach to learning.